What's going on, guys? This is Joe. I am back once again with a vintage cube draft. I am recording this one early because in case I need some videos, now I will have them. Last time we were here, we wanted to go mono red, and it kind of worked out, kind of didn't. I think I'm going to take this guy. I think we didn't last time, and then the pack immediately after we didn't take him, there was another Gideon. There's also the Archangel, which might come back, although I doubt it. Tooth and Nail is a thing. That's a lot of mana. But maybe we do that. Maybe we do a ramp deck, just so that we're doing something a little bit different than last time. I'm going to try it. I'm going to take Tooth and Nail. I'm going to look for like big busted Eldrazi and scary creatures, but also little tiny elves and things to ramp with. So let's try that. If it doesn't work, we'll move on to what's open, but that's what I'm going to start with. That's always fun. As I stated last time, if you didn't watch back then, I am not claiming to be an expert of any kind at this type of stuff. Ugh, okay. This Sphinx seems cool, but it's not... Nothing in here goes along with what we just got. Unless we take, like, Trigon Predator. Or Mind's Desire, but it's Storm, so I feel like that wants to be in a Storm deck, which we're not in. Interesting. Wow. Yeah, like I said, definitely not an expert. I guess I go for Trigon Predator here. That kind of feels bad. It's a good card, but it's very early on. Okay. Well, there's at least some green in here. This is something. If we play an opponent that's doing the same thing we are with big creatures, then this is going to be bad and we'll just board it out. But otherwise, it could be good. Nissa. Talk about ramp, it untaps up to 4 forests. So that's a thing. But I think I'm going to take Eureka first and hope Nissa wheels. I don't know that it happens, but it could. We have Thrun or Song of the Dryads or Inkwell Leviathan. We do have blue here. There's also Jitte. Jitte, however you choose to pronounce it. Thrun doesn't really work with our strategy. Inkwell Leviathan does. We've got Jitte or Leviathan. I might just go with Leviathan here. It does have Trample and Shroud, so it can't be killed unless you go for a global kill spell. So that's a thing. It sucks to pass Jitte. Jitte's really good, and I'm surprised it's still in here. But for what I would like to try to do, I'm going to take the Leviathan. You could say I'm forcing it, sure. Terastodon. There we go. There's also Glorybringer, Beast Within. Batterskull is still here. That's crazy. Elish Norn's a thing. A very scary thing. But I think Terastodon's exactly what we want. So let's go for a Terastodon. I would love some ramp creatures, some mana elves or things like that. I think any of those jump up really high for us right about now. Ugh, does Growing Rights of Itlimoc get us there? 4 or more creatures. I mean, it's exactly what we want, right? It's ramp. There's Ulamog as well, but I don't want to have a bunch of big stuff and no way to play it. So I think I might just take the Growing Rights here. Voice is cool. Jace Beleren is at least a consideration, but I think for now we want the growing rights, excuse me. Okay. There's Eldrazi spawn. That's a thing. They can make mana. And it's really the best thing here for us. Like Delver, if we want to go blue. But this can be snuck in so many different ways. And this, the Trigon Predator doesn't need to be played. So I think I'm going to take Awakening Zone. Every turn we get an extra, like a creature that makes mana. Bring to Light, while in the two colors that we're looking at, is not as helpful. Mishra's Workshop, unfortunately, is also not as helpful. But there's really not much else going on for us. Like, we would only have two colors. I'm just going to take the Workshop, and maybe we get some artifacts. Maybe we don't. I think it just goes in the sideboard for now. This is not looking too good. Well, I think Black-Red might be open. What do you guys think? Jesus. All right. Unfortunately, that's two colors that we've taken none of so far. That sucks. I guess we could take Tasigur. It's got his activated ability is in our other colors. So let's try that. Mind's Desire came back. Rishadan Port. Sorceress Spyglass. We saw this last time played against us, and I wasn't a huge fan. But it's kind of the only thing here, right? I guess Rishadan Port could be okay for like crazy combo decks in like multiple colors. We've got Westvale Abbey as well. Ugh. This is not looking super good for us. Well, I mean, we do have a theme still going. We're just trying to play stuff. We're trying to ramp up. Jitte came back? Sure. We're trying to play big stuff, so we need mana to do that. Beast Within is fine. That's totally fine. Okay, so maybe those other packs were just disproportionately those colors, right? Like where we got Tasigur from. Because some of the good stuff that we wanted to come back did. That's interesting. I guess obviously we'll see what we get in packs 2 and 3 and what we get past. Jeez. Sure. If red is as open as it looked, this would be helpful to us in certain matchups. If we decide to go red, we just get Delver. That's cool. Okay, so there's Pelucranos, Dig Through Time, Yavimaya Elder, Thran Dynamo. That's something. And Mystic Snake, although I think right now it's between the Elder and the Dynamo, like a lot for me. I'm going to go with the Elder. It's kind of the only... It's not quite a mana dork, but it is. And if it just, if they don't block it, then it's still getting in for 2 damage every turn, because we're trying to have it die. So that's cool. So maybe we do that. We'll hope for Pelucranos or Mystic Snake, or obviously the Dynamo to wheel, although I don't suspect it will. But I'll take the Elder for ramping purposes. Okay, well, we've obviously got Botanical Sanctum. That's nice. This would be good, but we're really not in mana territory yet, unfortunately. We've got Garruk, who would also be helpful. Pestermite would be nice. I'm assuming that Kiki Jiki or Splinter Twin is in here, but I think like there's Revoker as well, but I think between these three, I think I'm going to take the Planeswalker. He doesn't quite ramp us, but if we have big stuff, he can draw us a bunch of cards if we're low on resources. So there's that. Deranged Hermit makes a bunch of little dudes. Cryptic Command is Cryptic Command. Disc is Disc. We're not a Crater Hoof Behemoth deck, right? This is Terrastodon, not Hoof. So Deranged Hermit would be good if we had Hoof, and it's still possible that we get it. There's also Mox Diamond. that's a thing. You have to discard a land to play it, but then it's a land, like it produces 1 mana of any color. I really don't know. I think I'm going to go with the Hermit, to be honest. Okay. There's Goyf, which is not as good. And then Oath of Druids. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. Let's do Oath of Druids. I think that works really well for us. There's also Ancestral, which would be lovely. There's Metalworker, but we're not heavy artifacts. We have like Jitte, which we don't even know if we're playing yet. Thragtusk is here. Stomping Ground as well. Or Mazavith. I think it's just Thragtusk. Got a lot of big stuff. Would love to have more little stuff to make them with. Okay. Eternal Witness. This is not looking super good for us. There's Trop. I think I'm going to take Tropical Island here. Like Ataxian Probe is the thing, Mental Misstep is a thing, but I think Tropical Island is the best thing for us. Eternal Witness, we can get a card back from our graveyard, but it goes to our hand. So if it said Battlefield, it would be better for these big guys, but I'll go with the Tropical Island. Ooh, Show and Tell. Show and Tell is super helpful. Then we don't have to worry about ramping as much. There's Wall of Roots. But I think Show and Tell is more along the lines of what we're looking for here. It's possible Wall of Roots comes back. Although I'm not banking on it. Don't get me wrong. There's Treasure Cruise or Gear Hulk. I say Gear Hulk. Yeah, I mean, our 3-drop slot is doing well, or is going to do well, at helping us get up to these big things, but it's still not enough, I don't think. Pelucranos came back. So did Academy of Ruins, but it's not as helpful, and Spellskite too. But I think Pelucranos is what we want. It's 4 mana, so it's even if we're not getting stuff that will help us ramp into our big stuff or cheat our big stuff out, we could get Pelucranos out and just have it as a 5/5 for 4. Botanical Sanctum, because again, we don't have enough artifacts for Tolarian Academy. There's also Revoker, but I think Sanctum will help us a lot here. It's clear that these two colors are open, right? The main lands for them came around pretty late, but I think that someone else may be in the, at least on the green ramping plan and taking all of the little mana producers, the mana elves. going to be tough. This is going pretty slowly for some reason. Okay. There's regrowth. I guess that's a thing that we could use if, like, one of these things is destroyed. I think it's better than disc. Although disc would be better for us early. I'm going to take disc. I guess I think it's better for us early on if we don't have ways to ramp into our big stuff. And disc is there. We can just play disc, kill all their stuff that they played early, and then start playing bigger stuff and beating in. So we'll see. I mean, Goyf is the only thing we can play. I guess it's something. It's an early drop for us. If our opponents are using fetch lands, it's helpful. Maze of Ith is fine. It's not technically a land, so it does count towards our 23, but... Sure. Wow. Powerful. Not for our deck, but still powerful. Let's see what we get in pack 3. Something helpful for our deck. Please and thank you. Okay. Well. Not quite what I was hoping for. There's sneak attack, but we don't have any red. There's primal command. Which is not as helpful. And there's Mana Vault, which is going to be a problem. If we, if we play it on turn 1, we're going to be taking some damage, but plus it just doesn't untap, so if we don't have it, we don't have it. So this is tough, man. It's either Scavenging Ooze or Gristlebrand. I think I'm going to go with Gristlebrand, to be honest. It might be ambitious, but I'm going to try it. There's True Name Nemesis. Okay. I mean, it is a 3/1, which sucks. But there's also Jiraga Tree Speaker. We don't have a lot of elves. But I think... Oh, there's Kiki Jiki if we had taken that Pestermite. That's funny. I think it's Jiraga. If True Name comes back, I haven't seen people picking this very highly. If True Name comes back, we can take that. There's also Breeding Pool or Gifts. But I'm going to take Jiraga Tree Speaker here. That's a pretty good ramp target. And a mana sink early if we have nothing else going on. Plus, there was Gilded Lotus. I saw it, but still. Okay. Well, wow. There is Emrakul. Just straight up Emrakul. There's Palinchron, which, if we sneak it in, it can untap 7 lands. Wow, that's tough. I think I'm going to take Emrakul. I think we've been seeing that this type of a blue deck is open. So I'm going to take Emrakul here, and I'm going to hope that Palinchron comes back. But I can't pass up the card that this deck wants in Emrakul. There is Tezzeret, and there is Turnabout. There's a Top as well. Top could help us quite a bit. What does Turnabout do? Okay. I mean, Top is just so much better for us. Tezzeret is good, but not in our deck. And Battlesphere is great. But I'm going to take Top here. This will help us get to, if we're on one side, like we have too many big creatures and we need more stuff to help us get them out, or if we have too much stuff to help get them out and we need big stuff, Top is like 100% what we want for that. Plus, it's just amazing. This is also what I was hoping for. That's awesome. I was like, oh, we could turn, you know, the deranged hermit squirrels into creatures that can produce mana if we can get Rishkar. And now we have Rishkar. And to be honest, there's really not anything else for us here. So Rishkar, I'm super happy to have Rishkar. This is great. Like I said, our 3-drop slot's gonna help us play our big stuff. That was my goal. That was my hope. God, there's just Ugin too. I mean, obviously a lot of this stuff is creatures, right? I mean, we're ramping too, but yeah. This is good. Freyalise is also good. Wow. Ugin or Freyalise. I think, to be honest, that we have enough big dudes here right now. So I think I'm more focused on getting to play them. So I'm going to take Freyalise. It literally makes mana dorks. I should say, literally makes mana dorks. Sakura Tribe Elder is a thing as well, which would be super helpful. Blightsteel Colossus would be so nice. Oh my god. Oh man, that's cool. I still, like I said, I still think I gotta take Elder. It's possible Blightsteel Colossus comes back if nobody else is in this deck. And we've been taking pieces for it when we've seen them, so... Unless, I mean, somebody took that sneak attack, right? But I think I want more ways to ramp. There's Liliana. There's Force of Will. Sower of Temptation. Wall of Blossoms. And a Misty. Huh. Interesting. I might just take Sower. Either that or it's Wall of Blossoms, right? That's tough. That's very tough. I think I want to be a little bit faster. Let me take Wall of Blossoms over to the Sower. It comes down early. It can block. It can draw me a card. We don't really have a ton of instants and sorceries, so that's not really a thing. We could do this. It's from a graveyard, so we can mess up our opponent's stuff as well. Plus, as I said, it's an early play. Not much from us here. Okay. Scroll Rack could be good, but I think Gifts is better here. If we have ways of getting big stuff out. Yeah, here's Palancron. Sure. I said I'd take it if it came back. I meant it. Turnabout is okay. There's also Nykthos, though. If we choose green, we can make a ton of mana with that. So let's do that. Mishra's Factory. I guess it's the only thing we could play out of these three, so... Okay. Brainstorm. Okay. We're going to have some cuts to make. Good God. All in all, this deck did not look good starting out, and I still think it's not amazing, but I think it could have been much worse. I think we got some choice stuff towards the end there. Let's separate this out and figure out what we're working with. Good God, we have a lot. All right. So in terms of land, Maze of Ith is not a land, right? I mean, it is, but it's not a mana-producing land. And I'm not super worried about things attacking us. We can board it in if something is. I'm also not exactly sure about the factory. I don't think it's worth it. It would probably be better to just have a basic, because we don't really need to be making little artifact creatures. But these three are fine. Botanical Sanctum, Tropical Island, and Nykthos are great. Top is going to be super important for us. Brainstorm can help. Oath of Druids is great. as long as we don't have stuff out super early, which we've been trying to do. I think we're going to get rid of Delver. We have some instants and sorceries, but a lot of these things, don't forget, are enchantments or planeswalkers or just artifacts. And in fact, I think I'm going to get rid of Jitte. I think I'm going to get rid of Delver. I don't know about Tarmogoyf. I don't think it helps us get to our goal. I think the same can be said for Scavenging Ooze. And we can be aware of those if our opponent is putting a bunch of stuff into the graveyard for both of those cards, to be honest. Eternal Witness, I think, is the same thing. If they're killing our stuff, sure, but otherwise, no. Trigon Predator is fine, I think. Awakening Zone, I think, is important. I think Beast Within is a fine removal spell. Growing Rights will be nice. Show and Tell is definitely necessary. The Disc could come out and then be boarded back in. Eureka is important. Gifts Ungiven is important. Is Garruk relevant for us right now? He might not be. I think he can come out for now. Freyalise does work, making the mana dorks. Tooth and Nail is good. Derogatory Speaker obviously is amazing. Pelucranos is okay. It could come out as well. I like... I don't know how I feel about Thragtusk. I guess the life gain, etc. is good. With the problem with Gristlebrand is that if we have him in our hand, there is no way to play him without Show and Tell or Eureka or something like that. So I think I'm going to get rid of him for now. I think with Emrakul, Inkwell Leviathan, Terastodon, Palancron, Gearhulk, like we have enough, we have enough stuff going on where we don't have to worry about, we don't have enough big creatures. I guess the other question, though, is do we need Tooth and Nail? I think we do. I think we need ways of being able to play stuff. It's 9 mana to entwine this and get 2 big creatures on the field, but at that point, unless we've already had Emrakul out, we're just winning. Plus, Palancron, if it's one of them, can untap almost all of those lands. So that's a big deal. The Gearhulk is fine. It can buff up a lot of our smaller stuff that has been out earlier on. Maybe we get rid of Gifts if we are in a position where we don't want to show our opponent all the things that we have. That's something that we can get rid of. These 3 lands obviously don't count towards our 23, so let's put those on the side for now. That leaves 2 more cuts that have to be made. God, it's so glitchy. All right. I think I'm going to get rid of one of these 5-drops or maybe Pelucranos. Yeah, it might be Pelucranos. I don't know how this deck is going to work yet. So I think I'm going to get rid of him because I don't know if we're going to have ramp or if we're going to be focused more on things like Show and Tell and Tooth and Nail, getting these things out. I hope we have ramp. We've got a lot of our 3-drop slot is focused on that. We need 1 more cut, or do we? Actually, I don't know that we need 1 more cut. If we have all of this mana production like we want to have, or like we're hoping to have, then I think 16 land would be good here. We need like a little bit of blue and a lot of green. So let's see what they recommend. 10 and 3. Wow. Let's do 2 up for 5 and 2 down for 8, because our blue sources here are also green sources. So that gives us 10 green and 7 blue. I think that's perfectly fine. I'm going to add those to the deck, and I'm going to save that deck, and then I will be back in just a second with round 1. Okay, guys, so it's time to see whether this deck is a complete pile, which is a little bit of a fear of mine, to be honest, or if it's actually good. Nykthos is cool. Yeah, I like this hand. I will definitely keep it. We've got one blue, which is all we really need, I think, early on. I think Nykthos, Forest, Yavimaya Elder is our plan currently. Fast Bond. Wow. Okay. That's good for them. That's really good for them. It's going to take us a while to deal them a lot of damage, and they're going to be taking it. Yep, and then they polluted Delta for a swamp. How many colors are they playing? So far, 3. Right? But they're playing Demonic Tutor. Okay, they're kind of going off turn 1. That's awesome. 2 mythics, right? Is Fastbond a mythic? Yep. 2 mythics. I mean, it's of course it's cube, I get it, but still. Growing Rights as well? Okay. They did all that cool stuff. We're going to play Nykthos and pass. Oh, man. Cube is fun. I mean that honestly, despite what's happening to me right now. Yeah, so far they have every color but white. Okay. That's interesting. Well, we got Nykthos out. How did we get both of these again? That's funny. Okay. Are they trying to storm off? I really don't... I assume. Well, I guess I have to try it, right? I have to play Oath of Druids and pass. I guess the problem is if they don't play a creature soon, because I don't know what their deck is trying to do. They got a piece of power, right? That's something. Now they can fetch. Yeah, they may just not be in... Oh, no. This does white. They're in all 5. At least to a degree. Oh, whoops. Sorry. Okay. Wow. They have 7 available mana on turn 3. Seems pretty good. Yeah, they played a Yavimaya Elder. And then killed it. Oh, they sacked it. I gotcha. Okay. That's a thing. There's really not anything to Beast Within either, which kind of sucks. I guess we could Beast Within our own Oath of Druids, realizing that, you know, it'll give us a 3/3 that we can attack with and then play like, you know, Freyalise or something. Interesting. So, I think Oath of Druids screws us here. They reveal cards from the top of their library till they reveal a creature. Put that onto the battlefield and all others into their graveyard. We don't know what their strategy is, so we might screw them over in the process, or we might get screwed over in the process. Let's find out. We have our own Yavimaya Elder, but we can't sacrifice it. So let's see if we're going to screw them in having them activate Oath of Druids. I doubt it. But that's okay. Oh, it's me? They're choosing me? Interesting. Oh, they're choosing... Yeah, they're choosing me with less creatures. Or with more creatures than them. That's fine. And now they're doing the effect, I guess. It says we're waiting for them, but... Yeah. So they targeted... That's interesting. Do I not understand how this card works? Oh, it says May. I guess they said no? Yeah, they said no. Okay. Interesting. Well, that's good to know for us. I mean, it means if they play any creatures at all, that, you know, Oath of Druids is really only helping us and not them because they don't want to use it. There are so many different things that could be their win con, though, that I don't offhand know what it's going to be. They have 11 available mana right now and 4 cards in hand. They're thinking about something. Here they go. They played a Cabal Ritual to add mana. Yeah, they're trying to storm off, I assume. Look at all these mana. 12 total? It's a lot of mana. Turnabout. So they're going to untap all their lands. Okay. It's a lot of mana. Fireball or something? Like, Jesus. That's 18. Okay, so they cast this with 5 colors, so they're searching for something and casting it without paying its mana cost. But it has to be convert mana cost 5 or less. Storm count is 3. Cabal Ritual, Turnabout, Bring to Light. Demonic Tutor is what they chose. Oops. Okay. And then they'll play that. Storm count is 4. Dark Petition, more searching. There are 2 or more instants or sorceries, so they get to add more mana to their mana pool. Storm count is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Yawgmoth's Will. Storm count is 6, and they can replay all those tutors. Cabal Ritual. Storm count is 7. Oh, look, it says it over here. Silly me. Turnabout again to untap all their lands. Storm count is 8. This is so cool. Demonic Tutor, storm count is 9. Lion's Eye Diamond, storm count is 10. That's great. Harmonize to draw 3 cards. Storm count is 11. I might have missed one earlier. Dark Petition again. Add 3 mana to their mana pool as well. Storm count is 12. I took away the F6 because I wanted to see this step by step. There you go. That's awesome. All right, let's just concede. They did it. I'm not going to make them go through the whole thing. Nicely done. Nicely done. Okay, well, I don't think we can beat this deck if they have a fast bond start like that again, but we could sure try. Okay. What do we have that helps us? I don't know. Well, I guess Tarmogoyf. But if we get it out early enough and they start putting stuff in their graveyard, fetch lands, etc., put that in. The port taps a land, but I don't think that that's relevant. Plus, that's a lot of time wasted doing that. Maze of Ith is not an issue. Okay. Oh, Scavenging Ooze is also a thing. Take their stuff out of their graveyard. Okay. So if we put those two in, what comes out? Let's take out... Interesting. We don't want to take out Inkwell Leviathan because Island Walk is relevant here. We could take out Terrastodon, but I don't think we want to do that either because that could take out their lands and take them away off of some of their colors. Do we just go in with 42? I really... I'm going to do it. Their deck is insane, right? So I don't know what the best plan is or if we even have one. I would love to play first. We can Wall of Blossoms or Scavenging Ooze, so I guess I'll keep it. Obviously on turn 2. They kept 7. Let's play a Forest and pass. Their turn 1 we can F6 through. Let's see how quick their start is this time. They have a Delta. They can fetch. Okay. Ooh, we have Sakura Tribe Elder as well. Sack it, put it on the battlefield tapped, and shuffle. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see what they do for their second turn. They play a Dimir Signet. And then we can use our Sakura Tribe Elder to get a second forest. And then pass through the rest of their turn because they're done. We'll play our fourth land. So we can Jiraga Tree Speaker and level it up. Okay. Let's do that. Or do we... Maybe let's Wall of Blossoms this turn. We can level up next turn. We'll have it, and then we can add 2 mana to our mana pool as well. We drew Palancron. That's cool. Alright, so we have somewhat of a chance. They have a slow start. Fast Bond seemed to be the way for them to go off early. So that's good. That they don't have it yet. They now have green. So they have 4 available. They're going to Demonic Tutor. All right. I think my plan is... This is not an elf. It is a plant wall. We don't have any elves in our hand. I think my plan is to level Jiraga Tree Speaker up. I really only need to do it once. Unless we get another elf. And then we can start caring about it a little bit more. Okay, we drew a land. That's cool. So let's level her up once. And then we actually have 5. So we could Verdurus here and make it self an 8/8, which I think is our best plan right now, to be honest. Countered. Okay. That is fine. And they get 5 mana. That's cool. That's fine. I think my goal... Sorry, I know I said this earlier. I think my goal is to tooth and nail. I only need, what, 4 more? So that's something. They have 5 colorless now. So they have 9 total available, which is really good for them. And not really so good for me. But I think the cool thing is Scavenging Ooze can take their Demonic Tutor away in their graveyard, which is going to be super important, as we saw, because they just use that to steal stuff. We could also take their Lion's Eye Diamond if they sack it. Here comes Fast Bond. Great. Well, if they don't go off this turn, we have 2 things that we can take with Scavenging Ooze. Never mind. Time Twister is happening. Okay. Well, we have Disc. That's not gonna help us against this deck, actually. We probably... That could have been something we could have taken out. But we got Verdurus Gearhulk back, and we still have Tooth and Nail. That's crazy. Okay. Okay, Polluted Delta again. That was lucky that they got the Delta back. That's cool. But again, we got these 2 back. So this can destroy an artifact or an enchantment. I don't honestly know what's more important to destroy here. The Fast Bond or the Dimir Signet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess I would go with... I would go with the Fast Bond, I think. They haven't really used the Signet. All right, so we have to arrange it into 2 piles with Factor Fiction. One goes into their hand, the other goes into their graveyard. Okay. How do I... Okay, I was like, how do I switch them? All right, so we're going to put Cabal Ritual in that pile with an island, I guess? And we'll see which one they want. Because if they take the 3 lands, which they did, they can play them all, but they're going to take a bunch of damage. And if they don't go off this turn, then we can threaten them big time. Okay, there's Scroll Rack. We could destroy that as well with Predator. But it does have to deal combat damage, and I don't think we have that kind of time. I'll have 8 next turn, so I think I can Terastodon and destroy... Wow, they let me have a turn. Okay, this is our only shot at this. I guess we could also just Tooth and Nail to play Terastodon and Verdurus Gearhulk. If they have a counterspell, we're screwed either way. But at least if we Tooth and Nail for just the second ability of putting 2 creatures onto the battlefield, then, yeah, I think we're going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll play Tooth and Nail. Put 2 creatures on the battlefield. And I'm going to pick the Gearhulk and the Terastodon. Okay, let's put counters 1 on Terastodon. And 3 on Gearhulk. Then Terastodon is going to destroy 1 swamp, a Dimir Signet, and the other swamp. Anything that they can use to make black. And they get beasts for it. Well, now I'm going to pass and hope that... I know I gave them a swamp. Okay, they're going to Catacombs as well. That sucks. So they have 2 swamps now? Two black sources? Because I think I gave them 1. Oh, but I think they shuffled afterwards, right? Or scroll racked at least. So, okay. All right. So I think the thing to do here is... I guess it depends on what we draw, but I can Trigon Predator, because now we might have another turn. It also depends on what we draw. Okay, they played a Forest. I'm not as worried about that. I'm more worried about their black mana production. They played Harmonize to draw 3 cards. Presumably at least one of them will be a land. Sure, they're taking more damage, but they do have 3 blockers here that they can spread out, but we do have Trample on our 7/7, which is nice. Okay, they're going to combat. I can't imagine they're attacking. Okay, thank you. Okay, wow, we got another turn. Okay, so we drew a land. That sucks. But let's go to combat first and see how they respond to these attacks. I gave Terastodon that extra +1/+1 counter so that they couldn't triple block and kill it, but they can triple block and kill our 7/7 if they want. They're going to take 7 here and go to 6. Okay. That's fine. So the question is, they have 5 cards in hand. With Trigon Predator, what is the best thing? It doesn't matter for now. But what is the best thing to get rid of? They're debating whether to counter it. If it's Mana Drain again, they would have... Oh, no, it's just straight up Counterspell. Okay. It gets countered, and now I'll play Disc, which is bad for me right now, but if it's, you know, that or they go off and win, then those are really my only options. But I can also just keep it there as insurance in case something crazy happens. They can't take another attack from me, but they can... block, like chump block here, and only take 4. All right. They got another swamp. They're being cautious with their life total now, but they're also playing big stuff, like Dark Petition, for example. They do have Spell Mastery, so they put Xenagos and Tendrils in their graveyard. Because I guess they activated Lion's Eye Diamond, so now they're going to search for the Graveyard Recursion spell, whose name I now can't remember, that they just used last game. because they have the 3 mana from this, and it's their only black right now, although it's relevantly 3 black, so not a huge issue. But they'll get 3 more, right? This hasn't gone off yet, so they'll have 6 black, actually. Taking a long time. I guess I assumed they would just go for the graveyard recursion. But maybe they're trying to count their mana and figure out if they can do it or not. Again, they have another turn if we don't draw something, because they can block, and only take 4 from trample and go to 2. And they play Demonic Tutor. Okay. So they search for Demonic Tutor, which then they're going to use to search for something else, which is Yawgmoth's Will. That's the card I was thinking of. I kept thinking of Urborg. That's not correct. Okay. Cabal Ritual happens. They get more black mana. Lion's Eye Diamond happens. Yeah, they have the tendrils in their graveyard. We saw it, so all they have to do is get up to, what, a storm count of 10, right? They're basically there. Turnabout untaps all their lands, so yeah, they've got it. Man, we got close, too. We got pretty close. Jiraga Treespeaker, MVP. Absolutely incredible, this game, for us. All right, so they're playing the Signet, using Ponder, just anything to get up to that storm count. We have nothing going on, so it doesn't matter. Like, they could do it right now, right? They could just play Tendrils right now. I assume they don't. I assume that they play more stuff, because they did last time, too. But they could. They could just end it right here. Yep, okay, they did. Good. That was fun. I love that. I have no problems with that. I think our deck did well in game 2. I think in game 1 there was, I mean, they had Fastbond in their opening hand. Like, there was nothing we could do at all. But that was really, really, really cool. I have no problems losing to that. That was a lot of fun. So I'm going to go to round 2, but I'm going to take a little bit of break. But I'm going to go to round 2 in just a second. All right, well, we're back. Let's see if this opponent can win by turn 3, or if we're actually going to have a chance. Well, we can start with a top. That's sweet. I'm definitely keeping this hand. Growing Rites of Itlimoc feels a little odd because all we have is the Wall of Blossoms, but we do get to draw a card. Inkwell Leviathan's just going to be here for a while. Okay, Awakening Zone 2. That's real nice. All right, let's start it off with top. We can do Wall of Blossoms and draw a card as well. We did not. What are they playing now? Oh, a Sorcerer's Spyglass. So they get to look at our hand and then choose a card. I mean, I'm assuming they're just going to choose top, so we can't do anything with it. Maybe I should go like this so that if they choose top, I can... Would I be able to respond to it? I actually don't even know. It wouldn't matter, right? I can't use it now. No. And they chose top. Okay, that's fine. All right, well, at least we know what the rest of our game looks like. We've got this on the Wall of Blossoms on this turn, and then one of these next turn. Draw a card. Ooh, Trop. Okay. Well, we definitely have land. I might play the Awakening Zone just so I have some bodies on the field. I don't know what our opponent's deck is going to look like creature-wise, although they do have this Wandering Fumarole, of course. Ooh, we have Verdurous Gearhulk as well. Okay. So, yeah, let's do Trop. And let's do... Doesn't really matter. Awakening Zone next. So that on our upkeep, we can get some Eldrazi spawn, start ramping up to Verdurous, and then Inkwell, because we do have double blue. Thank you, Tropical Island. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. It'll be a bit, but it's something. All right. how much is Wandering Fumarole to activate? 4. And they need a red, which they don't have outside of the Fumarole. All right, let's always yield. Always yes. I said always yes, right? Always yes. Well, whatever. I'll just say yes this time. That's fine. Okay, we drew another land. So, what do we have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 available. So we could Gear Hulk now. I think if we Growing Rights now, we can get a creature, put it into our hand, the rest go on the bottom, and then in 2 turns we'll have 4, unless we draw a creature, and then we can play it next turn and have it that turn. So let's try that. 2 and 3. Actually, that was kind of dumb. Let's do this the right way and leave the Trop as the untapped land. All right. Growing Rights. Yes, please. Let's see what we get. So we've got Terastodon, Sakura Tribe Elder, or Jiraga Tree Speaker. Oh no. We could just Tree Speaker here and just have all the mana we ever need. Terastodon will go on the bottom, but we've got Inkwell Leviathan and Verdurous Gearhulk, and the Leviathan will have Island Walk. So yeah, Jiraga Tree Speaker is definitely... I really don't care about the order. It's not that big of a deal. And then we can, thankfully, because we did this correctly, we can play Jiraga Tree Speaker now. Which means at the end of our... Unless they're going to counter it. Okay. Which means at the end of our next turn, we will have 4 creatures as long as they don't kill something. Still no red, so still no Fumarole. They did play a land, but are they playing anything? Nope. We got our Eldrazi spawn. We have another island, so we can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's not quite enough, but it's worth it to just take the 2 mana, put it into this, level it up for next turn, so that we can Inkwell Leviathan next turn. And yes, I'm aware that we could Gear Hulk, but I think it makes more sense to Gear Hulk later, because we can just put all the counters on Inkwell Leviathan, and as long as they don't kill it as soon as we play it. That's probably just our turn, and then we get Growing Rights to flip as well. So we could have Inkwell and Verdurous maybe next turn. Actually, yeah, I think so. Because if we could do Inkwell off of everything and then Verdurous off of the Growing Rights in and of itself. Yeah. Let's do it. I don't know what our opponent's deck is trying to do, but I think that we can close this out pretty quick with these 2. And they both have Trample, which is nice, although this having Island Walk kind of makes the Trample unnecessary. And it has Shroud. Oh, well, okay. So, see, I got there. We can't put any tokens on the Leviathan with Verdurous Gearhulk, but if we play them both, we can have an 8/8 Trample and a 7/11 Trample Island Walk. Okay. Frost Titan. So they're going to tap a permanent, and it doesn't untap during our next untap step. It kind of doesn't matter whether it's Jiraga or Itlamok. It really doesn't matter. We still have enough to play one or the other. That's totally fine. Okay, cool. We're good, though. All right, so we have another Eldrazi spawn. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So let's play the Inkwell Leviathan now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we only have to sack 1 spawn. So let's do that. It doesn't matter. Inkwell Leviathan. Okay. We don't have enough to Yavimaya Elder, So let's pass. We cannot attack. I mean, technically I can attack with my O1s, but they do have a 6/6 right here. So. But thankfully I have some nice blockers that I, at this point, kind of don't care about chump blocking with. Okay. Instant or sorcery. Reveal it. Put the card on top. So let's see what the sorcery or instant is and see if I should be worried. Tolarian Academy right now is an island because they have a Sorcerer's Spyglass. They can tap it for a blue. Time Spiral. Okay. Graveyard in hand and then draw 7. Okay. Then I guess I better play the Gear Hulk on my turn. High Tide. That's a lot of mana. Sure. Eight mana to play. Time Spiral. Wait, I thought it put it on the top. That's interesting. Okay. Draw 7 cards, and you untap up to 6 lands, so they're going to have a million land and a whole new hand. We lose the Gear Hulk. We have Show and Tell, but nothing to play with it. We have Trigon Predator to kill the Spyglass and free up the Sensei's Divining Top. That's cool. And ruin their Tolarian Academy. They also have like a million more mana available to them now. Okay. Because there's 8 from just these 4. They already have 2 floating. So that's 10, 11, 12. For some reason, I feel like they're not doing what our opponent did last round. But it's definitely still possible. They have decisions to make. They do have 7 new cards. But for us, it's actually pretty easy. We can actually turn these Eldrazi Spawn, 2 of them, into mana dorks. We can tap them for a mana and then sack them for 1, which seems awesome. We don't really need it yet. Return all permanents to their owner's hands. Well, now we do. Okay. Okay. That's interesting. All right. They can replay the Frost Titan and tap nothing, but they do have an uncontested 6/6 on the field. And the Sorcerer's Spyglass naming. As if I have to ask. It's going to be the same name as it was last time. Well, hint, hint, my 1-drop is not going to be Sensei's Divining Top. It's going to be Jiraga Treespeaker. Unless they choose Jiraga Treespeaker, which is totally a thing. That's what they chose. Top it is. That's fine. Them actually shuffling our deck and shuffling our hand into our deck and letting us draw actually helped us out a lot. Okay. So we'll play a land. We'll play a top. Oh, man. I want all these cards. Can I just have them all? I probably should have played the Trop. I get it, but... Oh, man. All right, let's pass, and when we get into our cleanup step, we have to we have to discard quite a number of cards. We have 18 cards in our hand. So, Oh man, we could totally show and tell, but we only have Inkwell Leviathan. So maybe I discard show and tell, because I don't know what else they have, but they clearly have Frost Titan-like things. So I'm going to discard show and tell. I think I can discard some land as well. Once I get Trigon Predator out, this will be gone and I can Jiraga Tree Speaker. So let's get rid of a forest. How many others do we have? 1, 2, 3. 3 other forests and 3 other islands. Let's get rid of an island. And then we have... Ugh. I'm going to do 7 more. Or no, 8 more. Let's get rid of... Let's get rid of Wall of Blossoms, because I'm going to have Sakura Tri-Builder. Let's get rid of... Rishkar seems important, because he can make the Awakening Zone guys that much better. I think I want to get rid of Beast Within. I want to play Beast Within. Oh my god, this is so tough. Alright, let's get rid of an island, another forest, wow. That's really tough. I think I'm going to get rid of the rights. Let's get rid of another forest. And all the tough choices, man. I'm going to get rid of Rishkar. And... Wow. Wow. Yep, I'm doing it. We'll get rid of that land. We need to get rid of one more, and I'm wasting all of my time making this decision. I'll get rid of Beast Within. That was very annoyingly difficult to choose. Wow, Upheaval. Wow. Great card. It was good for them, too. They had High Tide up. They got a 6/6 out. All right. Let's see what else they've got going on. Upheaval was a great way to deal with Inkwell Leviathan, right? You can't target it with anything. They also have Sensei's Divining Top. Interesting. We got Freyalise. Does this say... Yeah. They shut their own top off with that earlier. I mean, I guess they just assumed they weren't going to draw it, but that's very interesting to me. All right. Let's do green, green for the Sakura Tri-Builder. It can be used as a blocker. Mana Drain. Okay. Well, thankfully we have Trigon Predator next turn. Am I not aware of what High Tide does enough? I thought it only worked on their turn. Oh, no, they have 2. Sorry. They have 2 artifacts. I got it. And plus it's not an island, so that makes sense. Okay. Now they have 3 artifacts. Oh, man. Wow. Wow. Jesus. Great. All right, so they're going to look at the top card of my library, and they may put it on the bottom. Let's see what they do. They put it up back on top. Presumably a land or something. Yup. Okay. This is going poorly. Hey, that used to be on the bottom of our library. All right, let's play an island. And then I guess we play Jiraga. And then we activate top. Okay. They can look at the top card of our library if they want. So let's leave it this way. Let's do Verdurus, then Palancron, then an island. And pass. Presumably they're going to do the same thing with their top right now. Look at the top 3. Yep. Okay. Now, the interesting... Well, they finally got their red. The interesting question is whether they use Frost Titan to tap down... Okay. Well, now it's not a question anymore. Okay. They just keep our Trop tapped. But we know we're drawing a land, so we get that Trigon Predator, which is nice. Destroying the Sorcerer's Spyglass. Jace only has to -1 to bounce a creature, so that's problematic. Okay. Okay. So we knew we had the land coming. Now we could Trigon Predator to destroy the Sorcerer's Spyglass, but I think that it's more important to play out Awakening Zone right now. Sure, the Trigon Predator could be bounced, which I assume they're not going to do, because if we can keep Trigon Predatoring, we can just destroy all of their artifacts. But if I play Awakening Zone now... Oh, no, we just lose. Okay. Cool. Game 2, I guess. That was crazy. That upheaval high tide turn seemed lucky. I could be wrong. Maybe that's something that they can get consistently, but I feel like that's not true. Interesting. We could Maze of Ith. They only had 1 creature, and they had no way of... I guess they had a way of, like, tapping our lands down, but that was only with Frost Titan, and that would be when it attacked. But we would just tap it and remove it in response. So there's that. And then, you know, we could do things like Scavenging Ooze and Tarmogoyf as well, but I think for now that's going to be good enough. Like I said, I could be wrong, but I feel like that was a fluke. I feel like that High Tide Frost Titan combo was unintentional. I feel like it was good, don't get me wrong, but unintentional. All right, so I'm going to Tropical Island, Sensei's Divining Top, followed by Botanical Sanctum. Whoops. Doesn't matter. Okay. Followed by Rites, I guess. Huh. Nice. Okay. Depending on what we draw, yeah, okay. So let's activate top. Oh, so we could destroy their top next turn. That's great. Although they would get a 3/3 out of the deal, which is not as great, to be honest. All right, let's do... Land, Beast Within. Pass. Okay. Wandering Fumarole. We drew the Beast Within, as we knew we would. Let's play this Forest. Let's Growing Rights. We know what those top cards are, and we do not want to be drawing them. So, conveniently, we don't have to. But we have to hope that 2 cards down, or more, or 3 cards down, is a creature. It's a Trigon Predator. Now we can destroy their top. Cards on the bottom. Land. Brainstorm. Land. Okay. That's the turn. They'll top. That's fine. Okay. Interesting. So we can Trigon Predator next turn, destroy their top, unless they do the smart thing, and I guess they could tap it in response immediately, right? We have to, again, we also have to deal combat damage. I get it, but let's see what they do. They do nothing. Okay, and we drew another land. So let's play Trigon Predator. See if they counter it. They sure do. Great. That's fine. And then I guess we top again, because why not? What the heck else do we have going on? All right, so we can... Let's go... Tooth and Nail, Island, Elder. These are very bad draws. Okay. Very, very bad draws. Okay. So mana drain happens for them. They get a bunch of mana. They get their red. And they have a Hedron Archive. So they can add 1,000,000 mana now. And they get a Muldrifter, drawing them 2 more cards. Okay. I get my Sakura Tribe Elder, which is nice. Oh, and it shuffles my library. So that's important, because those draws were terrible. So let's do that. The Muldrifter has flying, so there's no reason not to sack the Elder immediately. And then top. Search for an island, because I don't have any. I have 2 blue sources, but I don't have any islands. So I might as well. Plus, I already have another forest in my hand. So let's do that. And then I have 3 up for Beast Within, which I could do... I guess I could do it on the Fumarole. But then again, they get another 3/3, so I guess I'll wait. I'll wait till after combat. Or at least after their turn in general. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I knew it. I knew they were going to activate that Fumarole. So they want to get in for a bunch of damage. Let's wait till it attacks so that it's tapped so that they can't use it for mana to counter something. And by something, I mean my Beast Within. Okay. Very good. Now that it's tapped, it can be destroyed. Perfect. No blocks, obviously. Okay. I drew Emrakul, which means they have 5 cards in hand. Does it say when you cast? It does. So I will not be able to take an extra turn. Interesting. All right, well, let's play the land. This is crazy. Let's top Inkwell Leviathan as well, huh? Huh. Okay. So we go Forest, Forest, Inkwell Leviathan. Interesting. Let's do the top shenanigans. Drawing the Inkwell Leviathan. And then let's do... With 1 blue up, I don't know how they counter it because I don't think they do. So let's do a show and tell. And I think... I don't honestly know which one is the better choice here. Emrakul is more damage, it's a better blocker, it has Annihilator 6, and it has protection from colored spells, whereas this one's just straight unblockable, but I still think it's Emrakul. Let's see what they choose. They do have 5 cards in hand, but I don't think they can play something better than Emrakul. They played nothing, and we got Emrakul. That's disgusting. Okay. Oh, it couldn't be countered. Well, this can't be countered, but we weren't playing it. I was worried about show and tell being countered. That is crazy. They're going to top. That makes sense. They put a land into play. A land. They might have upheaval. That's a thing that they could have. Which would be the most upsetting. Okay. Or they could look for it right now. Okay, so they drew Mystical Tutor with the top. Let's see what card they reveal. High Tide. Okay. Okay. But they have to sacrifice 6 permanents. I guess they'll do these 3 and these 2. That's a lot of red mana. Okay. 6 mana to play. Am I not reading Mystical Tutor correctly? It says put the card on top. I'm like super confused. Okay. I must be missing something. Okay. That's fine, I guess. We have Eureka with Thragtusk and Palancron. Seems good. But if they upheaval again, we have to wait 4 turns to be able to do that. Okay. They have a Soul Ring. Okay. They're able to make a lot of mana. I just don't know what they're going towards. If they have an upheaval, that's the best thing for them right now. Because Emrakul can't be targeted by colored spells. And you do have to deal with Emrakul. I mean, you do have 2 chump blockers. I get it. But they're building up this storm count, and I don't know where it's going. Okay. Frost Titan. So they can... I guess they can tap Emrakul now because it's not a colored spell. Right? Yep. That's fine. And then they can attack us for 5. That's also fine. But what else are they doing? Nothing. Okay. All right. Well, let's play an island. Let's play a Wall of Blossoms to draw a card. And we draw. A land. So if we Eureka, there's a possibility it gets countered. But we only have 6, so we can't do both Eureka and Thragtusk. So I think I have to try Eureka. Now the nice thing is, even if they counter Eureka, I still have the mana for these 2 things next turn. But I'm going to try it now. And see what happens. Okay. Well, I'm going to pick Thragtusk. I'm going to pick Palancron. They're putting lands, so I guess I'll do the same. Land. They have 1 card left in hand. Land. They're still putting nothing. I think... Yeah, with the shenanigans that they've got going on, I'm going to stop there. Just in case they have a way to wipe the board, I'll still have 1 land of each color in my hand. Just in case. Okay, Thragtusk happens first. Well, Palancron happens first. Then Thragtusk. Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I missed 1. That's fine. It's really not that big of a deal. I don't have anything to do with it. But if they bounce the Thragtusk with Upheaval, I will still have a beast. And they will have nothing. And they've already played their High Tide this game. So, I think my turn is done. And then I get Growing Rites of Itlimoc as well to flip because I have 4 creatures. That's awesome. Mystical Tutor happens, so they can go get their High Tide again if they want. Upheaval. Okay. Like I said, I get a 3/3. They'll have enough to replay the Frost Titan, tap down the 3/3, I guess. Okay. And they got the Mystical Tutor again. Which, once again, doesn't... Oh, I guess... All right. Anyway. Yep, that's fine. We know how this goes. Let's pass. I get a 3/3. They can replay Frost Titan. Or replay, like, mana stuff. Mana rocks, etc. Like Soul Ring. Thankfully, we know every card in their hand because it was just on the field. Yup. Okay. Get the Frost Titan out. Tap the Beast. They have their own cleanup step where they're discarding one card and it's a mountain. On my turn, I'm going to play my Trop. I don't think I have any 1-drops, do I? I do not, although I drew Rishkar. That's a thing. All right. So that's the turn. We go to the end step, and we have to discard 10 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoops. That's fine. 6. Misclick technically, but it should still be fine. We have big stuff. I need to discard 3 more cards. I have 1, 2 to draw a card next turn. Unless they're going to start countering things again. But actually, no, I'm sorry. We know all but one of the cards in their hand, I think. So Rishkar is going to be good for our Wall of Blossoms. Let's get rid of an island and a forest and an island, I think, are my best bets here. Keep my hand full of stuff. They have Mull Drifter that they can use to draw more cards, but I don't know that they want to do that yet. Okay. Choosing Trop again. That's fine. Same as usual. Mull Drifter. Okay, so they used it to draw 2 cards, but now unless they can play something for 2, they have to discard anyway, and they just discard a land. All right. Well, this looks oddly familiar. We will play our Botanical Sanctum and pass. We're going to take 8 and go to 4. Actually, we could block the... Oh, no, it's got flying. No. That would be foolish. Okay. This seems oddly familiar. They're just going to -1, return this to my hand, and it goes away forever. We take 8, go to 4. They tap our Botanical Sanctum. We draw a Deranged Hermit. Now I can play this land and lose, right? This is on attacks. Battlefield or attacks. So yeah, they're just going to tap the one creature I play and we lose. So, hey, that one wasn't as fun as round 1. That one was a little annoying, to be honest. But it was good. I mean, let me know in the comments. Am I wrong about Mystical Tutor? I swear I know what this card does. It says shuffle your library and then put the card that you searched for on top of it. But every time they did that, it was in their hand and they immediately played it, unless I wasn't paying attention and they did it at the end of my turn every time, which I think there were some times where that's correct, but I don't think that was every time. Maybe I'm wrong. Like I said, please let me know in the comments because that's going to drive me crazy. Anyway, thank you guys so much. We're going to go to round 3. I'm going to take a break, but I'm going to go to round 3. You'll see it in just a second. Well, that's really upsetting. If we win this one, we'll have the same record as we did last time. So that's a thing. Oh no, Joe, indeed. I am definitely going to keep this hand. Yes, oh no, Joe is right. Because oh no, Joe is losing. How about that? All right, our turn. Ooh, we get to brainstorm. That's cool. I just assumed we'd just be waiting for Oath of Druids next turn, but nope. All right, depending on how this turn goes for them, especially if they play a creature, that'd be cool. All right, what are they going to do? They're just passing? All right, let's brainstorm. Two cards on the top of my library. Is there a way to shuffle? No, but I can put all these lands in the graveyard. All right, let's put 2 forests. It's either 2 forests or 1 of each. Yeah, 2 forests. I have 2 others. We're fine. All right, that was their end step. Now I draw a forest. And then I can Oath of Druids. Now, on their upkeep, they won't have any creatures, but on ours they might, or we might, I should say. So Eureka's not good here because all we have is Verdurous Gearhulk. Over the next 2 turns, if we draw something, that might be nice. They get Breeding Pool, so they're Sultai right now. They did not play a creature. They played a Worn Power Stone. Okay. We can't play a creature either, so... and we're drawing land. We knew that. So we're both setting up mana bases, but theirs is a little bit better right now. They are 3 colors. Oh, no, I lied. They are 4 colors. They only are missing white. Thran Dynamo. That's a great card. Okay. We draw a Show and Tell. Okay, so we could play Verdurous Gear. Again, it's not good, right? We don't know what they have. So, but we're also not being threatened yet. I think the issue is by the time we are being threatened, we may just be dead. Because they have, what, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 now? Which is crazy. Wow. Okay, well, we can play Sakura Tribuilder. That's a thing. And we can sack it immediately. So let's do that, because then we don't want them to get anything off of Oath of Druids. And we'll get, I guess, another island, because we already have 1,000,000 forests. And we still have Show and Tell, but once again, I'd rather Tooth and Nail at this point. And we will have 7 next turn. I'm just waiting for the ability to have 2 more. Because we're not that far off. And again, there's nothing going on our opponent's side either. Now they're playing something. It's an Impulse. Okay. That's fine. Now we just wait. They're putting cards on the bottom of their library. And is that their turn? Are they playing something else? Nope, that's the end. We have an Inkwell Leviathan as well. Jesus. See, that's a cool thing for Eureka, right? Or Show and Tell, I should say. What do we have? 7? I could just hard cast Verdurous Gearhulk and see if they counter it. Because if they do, that is not the end of the world by any means. But if they don't, I have an 8/8 trample. Wow. Sure. They could do tons of shenanigans, right? It's Vintage Cube. They could steal it. They could just straight up kill it. They do have part black. They could burn it if they have 8 damage and burn that they're going to use on this. But otherwise, we just have an 8/8 trample. We might as well. Sure, they get an Oath of Druids. That's fine. They're going to reveal cards. Oh, no, they... Again. Interesting. Okay. So they didn't do it. So that's a kind of a good sign for Show and Tell or Eureka. They're playing something now. They have 10. Why do we keep playing against the same cards? That's so annoying. Alright, well, Oath of Druids can come out. That's so annoying. Alright, Oath of Druids can come out and we can put in, like, Tarmogoyf for Scavenging Ooze or something. Okay, so they have to discard a land and... a land? So, here's the thing. By the time we get up to 3, we might as well just Show and Tell. And if we get to 4, we can keep going, but... Oh, we drew Growing Rights as well. We're not going to be able to play Rights. We can discard Rights. We can discard some land. Because at this point, I don't think we're trying to get to stuff anymore. I think we're going to get rid of Rights. I think we're going to get rid of 1 forest, 1 island. Let's get rid of another island. We have to get rid of 2 more cards. Let's get rid of Tooth and Nail. And let's get rid of Eureka. We have Show and Tell. Play the Leviathan. It has Island Walk. Unless they have a way to recur Upheaval, which is also totally possible. I think we're okay. We've got Beast Within now as well. Let's not play Oath of Druids. How's that sound? I don't need them. Like, sure, they can ignore it, but they don't have a creature anyway. So for 3, we can just Show and Tell right now. They might have an artifact or an enchantment or a land that they can do. But I'm going to play the Inkwell Leviathan. And they're going to play a land. Seems like a fair trade-off. Yep. Okay. Let's see what they do this turn. They have 6 cards in hand. That's something. Frantic Search. Okay. They get to untap 3 of their lands. Floating 2 mana. Which seems silly. You would think that they would use these 2 and this to cast this and then untap these, having floated these 2. But that's fine, I guess. I don't pretend to know their strategy. Okay. Tough decisions, apparently. We have a 7-11 Island Walk Trample Shroud. Next turn we'll have 4, so we can beast within something if we have to. They got rid of a Boros Signet and another land, I guess? Yeah. Okay. So they do have part white. There's a Boros Signet right there. So they had 4, now they have 3. 5 cards in hand. The cool thing is I can, next turn, unless I draw something for 4 that I want to play, I can beast within one of their mana producers or their like breeding pool or one of their swamps, or like their swamp or their mountain. But they've been mainly blue, right? There's been nothing else that they've played really that has required another color that wasn't blue. Now they're using red, but they're having a tough time. Okay. So that they get 2 red. Okay. Cabal Ritual for 3 more black. This deck looks oddly familiar, does it not? Interesting. So the thing is, like, we don't know what storm piece they're going to maybe try to use. But getting rid of one of these one-off lands, yeah. I was going to say the black would help us get rid of Yawgmoth's Will as a possibility, but okay, sure. Sure. That was a net 1, I think, because they used 1 to get 2. But the storm count is going up. They could have Brain Freeze. They could have Tendrils. They could have lots of different things. They played the Boros Signet back so they can make more mana. Yeah. The first time it was cool. I'm a little frustrated playing against it again. There's so many different options in this cube, and to come across 2 of the same decks in the same 3 is a little annoying. Especially because if this were a real cube, like, I obviously prefer the this way of doing it so that I don't have to sit and wait for everybody else in the tournament. But if this were a real cube in paper, you wouldn't be dealing with this because these are a lot of the same cards that we were seeing in other games. So you'd actually have some variation and some different decks and stuff, which is what Cube is about, right? Seeing all the different combinations of things that people can play. We just saw the same 2, like, in 3 decks from our opponents. We're still seeing the same cards overlapping basically between the first one, the second one, and the third one, which is frustrating. It's annoying. If they win, congratulations, right? That's not me saying that they don't deserve to win. That's kind of more of a commentary on the cube in general, or how Magic Online works. And, you know, there's obviously not a real way for Magic Online to work that way. Where they could say, oh, well, this deck is very similar, but yeah, there's Tendrils. Great. So we lose to Tendrils. Yep. Okay. What a surprise. What a unique experience we just had. Okay. So like I said, Oath of Druids clearly comes out. I don't know that they have any creatures at all. But with Oath of Druids coming out, Where did it go? There it is. With Oath of Druids coming out, Scavenging Ooze can go in. Is that it? I think that might be it, right? We don't care about... Like, Rashadan Port's a thing. We talked about that earlier. We haven't seen Nykthos since, like, game 1, right? Whereas I feel like we've seen almost everything else. Deranged Hermit we even saw for a second at the end of one of those games. But yeah, I don't know. We'll put in Sakura Tribe Elder. Tarmogoyf's not going to do anything for... Or not Sakura Tribe Elder. Scavenging Ooze. Tarmogoyf's not going to do anything for us, but Scavenging Ooze can eat the pieces out of their graveyard if that comes up. And if we win this next one, we can see what else might not work. But this is where we're at. Okay, so this is a terrible hand. First mulligan we're going to have to make. Although, I guess with top, we don't have to. But, yeah. No, you're right. We don't have to. Because it's a permanent. So we can get Freyalise, we can get Verdurous Gearhulk, we can get Terastodon. So, yeah, and we can use Terastodon to destroy their lands. I'm just going to use Sensei's Divining Top to find forests. And then we have Eureka and we're good. So I'm actually going to keep this hand. Okay. Island, top, pass. Hopefully it takes them a little while to get going. We do need those, couple of turns from them here. We drew a forest. That's a good sign. Excuse me. Look at the top 3. Wow. Okay. Let's put cards on top in any order. So let's have it as Growing Rights, then the Leviathan. We want the Sanctum on top so we can play it next turn and have no ill effects from it remaining tapped because we want to be able to have 4 lands on turn 4. Thing in the Ice happens. Okay, we'll play the Botanical Sanctum. And guess we top again? I mean, we just would have a land or an Inkwell Leviathan or a third card, which I guess we can do at the end of their turn. Okay. Might as well. Can't hurt. There's a third unknown card. It's Nykthos. Not as helpful. Let's go Nykthos, Growing Rights, Inkwell, so we can draw Inkwell. Cool. Here it is. Let's they have a creature now. Let's go green, green, blue, blue, and Eureka. If they have Upheaval in their hand, this is bad for us. But if they don't, I think we're great. In fact, let's Terastodon now. Because once everything is said and done, we can destroy lands that they've played. Or this. Huh. That counts for us as well, which is cool. Let's Inkwell Leviathan. Let's just empty our hand and see what they do as well. Palancron untaps their land. So they did put a creature in. Okay. Let's go Freyalise. And let's go... Did they do nothing that turn? Let's do Verdurous Gearhulk, or maybe they put an island in. I don't even realize. All right. That's it, right? There's so many abilities to happen. All right, it worked. This is great. So Terastodon's going to happen first. Let's put 1 counter on Terastodon. Oh, right. Inkwell Leviathan can't be targeted. We had that issue earlier. 1 on Terastodon, 3 on the Gearhulk. Let's say okay. And then Terastodon, choosing Island, Concealed Courtyard, Island. And then let's see what happens for the rest of the turn, huh? They're going to tap those lands, even though it's my turn. But then they get to untap them and tap them again. I still think I'm going to +2 Freyalise here. I don't... maybe I destroy... I guess I'll destroy their enchantment. I don't need it, right? They're going to Impulse. That's fine. Unfortunately, I have to actually okay through all this instead of F6ing because I want to be able to activate Freyalise this turn. So I have to wait for them to make all these decisions and try to go off, I guess. Okay. Now, technically, they won't have any islands anymore. Frantic Search as well. They won't have any islands anymore unless they play one on their turn. So this Island Walk won't work, but I do have a 7/11, and unless this is transforming, I guess if it does, it's going to bounce all the non-horrors anyway. This is not a horror. So all these things would be going back to our hands, but this is not a creature. So this would not get bounced with this. Okay, now we're on to Terastodon. Yes, I would love to use Terastodon's ability. And then Verdurous Gearhulk's ability as well. And then I would love to destroy their enchantment. And then I will pass the turn. Let's see what they have now. They like upheavaling people. I think it's nice. So they're going to look at my hand and draw a card, but it's really just to get Thing in the Ice going. So they need to play another instant or sorcery that costs nothing or 1 if they have a land to play. They do. Do they have a 1-mana instant or sorcery to bring out Awoken Horror and screw us over big time? Doesn't look it. We do not have a way to stop a flyer, but I feel like they're going to want that to block. Right? This does not have flying despite the way it looks. Okay. I guess they have these 3 little guys, but sure. I cannot block. Okay. Growing Rites of Itlamok. I will not have 4 creatures unless I use her +1, which I guess I kind of have to, right? Or her +2, I mean. I kind of have to, and it gives me a creature, which is cool. And then I can tap 3 and play the rights. I could attack first. Let's attack, and attack. They're going to be able to stop all 10 here. Do I want to leave anything back? Is the question. The answer is, I don't think so. Because I can use this as a chump blocker if I need to, but I assume most of their guys are going to be dead. Unless they're going to take 14. Nope. Okay, that blocking order doesn't matter there. So they're going to take 8 and go to 10. Sure. Okay, then let's tap 1 and top just in case, because otherwise we can Growing Rights as well. Okay, so if we play Jiraga Tree Speaker, we can use it, but I don't think we need to. I guess we'll just put them back as... Did we play a land this turn? We might be able to play Nykthos this turn. And then what is it to activate it? 2, which we have. So let's do Sakura Tribe Elder, then Jiraga Tree Speaker, then Nykthos. Then let's use Sensei's Divining Top, play Nykthos, tap 2, use Nykthos for green to make 6 green, use 3 of it to play Growing Rights, and then, unfortunately, that's... Well, actually, let's look at these cards. We know we have top. We know we have Sakura Tribe Elder, which we could play, or Jiraga Tree Speaker, which we could play. If we take the Tree Speaker, we can take it and level it up with the last 3, so let's do that. These go on the bottom. That's fine. Top can go on the bottom. Let's go top, Elder, land. We have enough ways to shuffle where it doesn't matter as much. Let's play Jiraga Tree Speaker, and let's level her up. Now we technically have 2 blockers, although obviously nothing for the air. But that's it, so let's pass now. That was a sweet turn. Obviously Growing Rights flips. We have like a million more mana to do nothing. Well, I guess we could level her up a bunch. It's equal to the number of creatures or green creatures? Creatures. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we could level her up like a million more times. Oh, but it wouldn't matter, right? Okay, so this is going to bounce only creatures. And this doesn't do anything, right? No, it does not. Okay. All right. That will happen. Okay. Thankfully, we have a nice amount of ways to make more mana now, which is so cool. It's not upheaval exactly. Sure. If I... All right. They killed Freyalise, which is still fine. How much mana can I add to my mana pool? Not anything with Itlimoc or Nykthos, but I can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the Gear Hulk. Yeah, let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Verdurous Gear Hulk, targeting itself for 4 counters, so it becomes an 8/8. So it can block the 7/8 very nicely. Then we can... Oh, we can't activate for 2, right? So let's tap 1 and play Jiraga Tree Speaker as well. And then pass. We didn't have the 2 mana to activate Nykthos. It would have only added 2, which would have, at that point, been able to level this up, but not really. Let's see. They're going to Arid Mesa. So they're off blue, which is fantastic for us. Okay, also no attacks, even better. We draw Trop, that's cool. We have 3 and 2 is 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. So we can totally do this. Let's do 1. Let me just make sure this is correct. 1, 2 gives us 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we can totally do it. Okay. 1, 2 to activate this for my devotion to green. Adding 3 green. 5 green. 6, 7, 8 for Terastodon again. Destroying their lands again. Yes. And I'm going to attack, and I'm going to see if they make bad blocks or if they like, because I mean, they're either going to chump. Well, no, this has trample, so they could like throw stuff in front of it. They can't really take it all. They'll go to 1. I guess they could technically, but like, well, they know we have Inkwell Leviathan, although, yeah. So we're going to clearly kill the horror. Yep. That's totally fine. And then that's our turn. We only have 1 mana left, so we can't level this up, but that's okay. Freyalise is dead, and I don't really know of any other ways we're getting elves. Do they attack? I would be very surprised if they did. They need all of those to be able to block this Terastodon. We drew a land. That's totally fine. Okay, let's see if we can do this math again. This adds 2. Using this, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we only need 9. So let's do that. Blue, blue, blue. 6, 7, 8, 9. Leviathan. Still no leveling up, but it doesn't matter. The only thing we can't cast right now is Emrakul. So, and plus every creature we play adds more to growing rights. Let's attack. They have to block. The question is whether they triple block or not. Now they have an island, so we can deal them 7 unblockable. Do they throw all 3 in front, or are they chumping for 3 turns? That's the question. Yep, that's also the question they were considering. That's fine. We don't know what we're going to draw. That's totally fine. Again, we still have a 7/11 unblockable, untargetable. They have to end their turn, and we drew another land. So let's do this to level her up. Now we can make her into a 1/4. That's not super exciting, but let's attack with just the Inkwell Leviathan. If for some reason they have shenanigans, we have this as a blocker, and it wouldn't kill anyway. It would still just take them to 1. Okay. And then let's... Whoops, that's silly. Level her up again. Level her up again. There's nothing else I got going on. She is currently level 3. Let's make her at least level 5. Oh, we can only do... Nope, we can do it. 4, then play the land, and 5. Okay. That's our turn. Let's see what they do. They play a breeding pool, and they kill themselves with it. Okay. Cool. So now we have to go to sideboard. Disc does not get rid of land, but it does get rid of artifacts and enchantments, which is relevant. We just need a way of getting rid of their artifacts early on. They didn't have enough creatures to put Oath back in. I'm going to say this is okay. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can pull out our third, or pull out a win in game 3, I should say. Sure. It's not an amazing hand, but Show and Tell into Terastodon is a pretty big game on turn 3, as we've seen. Especially if they're going to start out heavy blue again. Terastodon seems to be the bane of their existence. Okay. Emrakul is also a good thing to play with Show and Tell. Holy crap. Yep, because if they have to sack 6 permanents on turn 4, they're probably only going to be sacking lands and other things. Lands and artifacts and etc. Okay. Wow. Let's hope they don't have a counterspell for Show and Tell. They can sure play Palancron if they want to, but I think Emrakul is actually a better choice than Terastodon. Plus, Terastodon is much closer to something we can cast with the help of Awakening Zone, whereas Emrakul would take some time. Oh man, this will be so cool if this works. All right. They have 2 lands, both make blue. Let's see what they can do with it with 6 cards in hand. They play this. This doubles the mana. So we can have 6. So we can have Awakening Zone and then Show and Tell, I think. I think that's how that works. Let's find out. Play a land, tap it, makes 2 green. Yeah, I'm totally right. Okay, so we just have to make sure that we don't use any of the blue because we need that for Show and Tell. We play Awakening Zone, and then we play Show and Tell. I choose Emrakul. They choose a land. Once again, seems like a fair trade-off. Okay. They have 8 available, though, so they can upheaval. That's a thing they can do, which would be a damn shame. That's 6. Nope. They're putting mana into it, weirdly, so I don't think that's what it is. Okay, it's Frantic Search, but they do get to untap 3 lands, so they're going to be able to make a lot. They currently have 5 permanents on the field, so Annihilator 6 is going to do well for us. If we get a turn to attack for 15. We'll have 5 mana available next turn with Awakening Zone. Again, if we get to that point. Their clock's getting down to about where ours is. It was a little scary when I realized that game 2 was ending with me having 8 minutes left, but they have to make tough choices too. They have to make sure that they can go off because they're staring down a 15-15 that has protection from colored spells and is going to make them sack 6 permanents. And if it dies, it just goes back into my library. As always, guys, let me know if you think my deck is good or not. I thought it had potential, but we just came across the same, like, 2 decks, which is interesting. I think this deck is clearly worse than the one that we played in game 1, or round 1, I should say. But it's obviously very similar. It's the same focus, the same thing they're going for. They have 11 available mana in their pool. They're using 5 of it. Okay, Time Spiral happened. Okay. Interesting. So they have 7 more cards. Storm count is, I believe, 2 or 3. I've lost count, but hopefully our little helpful friend over here will tell us. I think it does. It pops up once it gets to 5. The cool thing is, again, if everything on our field stays, we have Verdurous Gearhulk next turn. Can't be targeted by colored spells, but as we saw with Frost Titan, Verdurous Gearhulk will not count as a colored spell. They got Frantic Search back. Okay, seems fair. I guess they only have 25 cards left in their library. It's not statistically impossible. They didn't float any mana, so they only get to untap Concealed Courtyard. Lion's Eye Diamond happens. Maybe they're only up to 4 storm count? If they don't have any tutor effects, they do have black in Concealed Courtyard. But if they don't have any tutor effects, they're not going to be able to win this turn. Okay. That's another 10. They also have 5 minutes to do this. Boros Signet. Okay, for more mana. Sure. Now storm count is 5. There we go. They only need 5 more. Yawgmoth's Will won't do it yet. Because the only spell in their graveyard is Frantic Search, although if they sack Lion's Eye Diamond, that's a thing. Storm count is 6. But they'd have to discard their hand. They only have 2 cards left. Mind's Desire. 6 spells. Shuffle your library, exile the top, play it without paying its mana cost. Okay. So they're just going to be able to play stuff. Bring to light. Bring to light. Oh, there's Tendrils. Damn it. It's something they get to search for? No. It's pure luck of coming off the top. This was cast with 0 colors, but it gets them to 8. Gitaxian Probe is 9. They just have it now? That's such crap. Oh my god. Or do they? Without paying its mana cost. Yeah, they're done. They got it. Tendrils comes out for free. Storm count of 10. Gitaxian Probe can happen as well. Thing in the Ice. Just like to play things. Sure. Wow. They got it. I've F6'd already. I'm not doing it to make their clock run down. They're going to be able to do it in the next 3 minutes. That's a shame. That's a shame. I'm still going to try to play more of these. Let me know if you like seeing these. Presumably this has come out. I recorded this back when this was around. Great. I got 10 play points. All right. So yeah, that kind of sucked. I would have much rather seen more variation in decks. The first opponent that we played, their deck was much better than this one, in my opinion. of course. I mean, obviously, I'm sitting here having lost to it, but I lost 2-1 as opposed to 2-0. The other opponent's deck was able to go off with the 1-mana costing spell that allowed them to play any number of lands, whose name I now can't remember, but you guys remember. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I would have rather seen more variation in the decks, because I'm not that experienced with Cube. Apparently these players all were. Maybe I just picked the wrong deck. And like I said, please let me know what you thought in the comments down below. I'm genuinely curious. What would I have drawn? Let's see. Does it not? It doesn't like doing that. It freaks out sometimes. Okay. Well, anyway, guys, that was the draft. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, give me your opinions in the comments down below. I really enjoy hearing them. But I've been Joe. This has been Geek for All. Feel free to subscribe. It helps us out a lot. You can find out when all of our videos come out. We have drafts like these and others every Saturday. We have story reviews with my fiance Amy and I every Thursday, and we have paper magic openings every Monday. So if that's the kind of thing that you like, please feel free to subscribe. You'll see that stuff every week, 3 videos a week. And as we always say, in whichever video of ours you watch next, we will see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.